Bangladesh is the second largest apparel producing country. It's creating 4 million textile waste annually in Bangladesh. Cycle Exchange is a model textile sorting center in Bangladesh. People's well-being, dignity, safety should be also priority in the fashion. Circularity doesn't mean only recycling. We have to embrace the circular.
So there's a need. Today we're talking to Omar Gias. Omar is a director at the Bangladesh Apparel Exchange, and he's a director of the Recycle Exchange. Omar works in this really fascinating area of post-production waste. Essentially, when a pair of jeans is made or a t-shirt is made, there are little bits of textile trimmings that are left over or yarn, and that's waste. And that waste either is used to make new products or it enters landfill. The most of it actually enters landfill, and he's working to kind of change that system and change that link in the supply chain. In today's interview, Omar is going to explain how that entire supply chain works, where the challenges lie in that supply chain, and most interestingly, perhaps, where the opportunity for entrepreneurs and startups lie in entering that space and developing new innovations for that space. So let's listen in, and I hope you enjoy the interview. Omar Gias, thank you so much for being here. I was told that you are one of the people I need to talk to when it comes to circularity in Bangladesh. You've been active in this space for how many years?
Bangladesh Apparel Exchange actually working for promoting the circular fashion from 2017. As I was sharing in our informal discussions just before the starting of the interview, when in 2017 we made the central theme of one of our initiative, Bangladesh Denim Expo, in 2017, that time it was something very unknown and alien term to even the industry people and other stakeholders.
Right. Yeah, 2017 is a long time ago.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
But the founder of the BEA, Mr. Mustafa Izzuddin, he is a bit visionary people, so he understands that circularity would be the next important aspect of sustainability.
Right.
So from 2017, BE is working for promoting the circular fashion, especially to facilitate the shift of linear to circular production in Bangladesh apparel and textile industries.
Okay.
And after that, in 2019, we also make some of the sessions in Bangladesh Sustainable Apparel Forum on circularity, and especially from the last year, we are organizing from BEA Circular Bangladesh Circular Economy Summit, dedicating summit on the circular fashion. So it's been around 7 years we are working
active
on the
in
circular.
that space.
Yes.
Wow. And you said the shift from linear supply chain to a circular production country, especially,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Can you explain to me what this means? What does it look like? What
So-
kind of things happen?
So you know that Bangladesh is the second largest apparel producing country in the world, and we last year Bangladesh exported around 47 billion worth of apparel to the world. So we have around 3,000 active factories, garment factories, who are exporting apparel to the world. And these 3,000 factories for exporting 47 USD billion apparel is creating 4 million textile waste annually in Bangladesh.
But just, you mean on the production side, right?
Yes.
Not the consumption side.
No, not agriculture. So that's actually pre-consumer waste,
Right.
as you say. So when a garment is made, there are some of the cut pieces actually come out from the garments, and that amount is 4 million per year textile.
4 million tons per year.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a huge amount.
Yeah.
So by terming the linear, I actually mean that we are doing this apparel productions in a model like produce, then consume, and waste.
Yeah.
So we want to do something like the circular. So it's produce, consume, reuse, recycle.
Yeah.
So we are going we want to promote circular fashion means we are going to make this cycle possible.
Completely. What's
Yes.
interesting is most people, when they think of circularity, they think of the loop being after the consumer.
Yes.
But your loop is before the consumer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Interesting. And you're the director of Recycling Exchange, where I
Yes.
think you focus on this, right?
Yes.
What does Recycling Exchange do?
So Recycle Exchange is a model textile sorting center in Bangladesh. It's established in the Ashulia, which is very near to Dhaka. So it's a joint effort by Bangladesh Apparel Exchange and Aptex Netherlands. So what we are doing in the Recycle Exchange is we are collecting textile waste from the manufacturers, sorting it, and after sorting it, we are giving to the recyclers. So recycler then again making it to fiber and yarn,
Okay.
and from yarn, textile manufacturer is doing fabric, and that fabric actually again using in the
Okay.
garment production. So why sorting is important? Because every recycler have some specific requirements of textile waste, and specific requirements means like the materials, length, everything. So when we get from the factories, it is actually mixed.
Right.
So we sort them according to the requirements of the recyclers
Okay.
and then send it to them.
And this is done manually, or is it automated, or what does this look like?
This is manual because still now in the circular, pre-consumer waste circular sorting, I think manual is still now the most effective way.
Most effective.
There is no, for the post-consumer, there is some technologies, but it is so small clipping pre-consumer. So I think the manual process is so far, in our
Right.
understanding,
Because the pre-consumer waste is all these small pieces,
Yes.
you have to have some sort of.
yes.
Okay, nice. Is there a way that you see that process of sorting could be made easier for you if the producer did something different in their business model?
Yes. So if at the producer level they actually segregate this waste, pre-segregate in some extent,
Right.
then it will be easier for the sorters to make it more quickly.
Right.
Because now the manufacturers, what they're doing, they are giving us waste like everything in it. It's
In just one
textile
bag of
waste,
waste, yeah.
even polythene, even paper, even everything. So that also they are also losing because they are not getting a good price. But if they do some of the pre-segregation in their facility at the factory,
Right.
we can also offer them a good price, and that will make our life also easier.
Yeah. So
Yes.
do you pay by the weight, or how does it?
Yes, we
By the
pay by
weight.
the weight. But when we are now taking the waste, for example, where if we take waste for like 10 ton or 5 ton from the factories of denim, after segregation it comes down to 2.5. Half of the waste actually is when we segregate, there comes out something like polythene, paper, etc. That's not usable.
Not usable. Okay.
So that's also a problem for the sorters. And another important thing,
I can imagine it's very time consuming.
time consuming. And I should also mention one thing here, that in the sorting there are also hundreds of sorting centers in Bangladesh, but they are not actually adhering to the compliance. Bangladesh apparel industry is now very compliant. It's one of the safest green factories. A lot of green factories. One of the 7 of the 10 world's largest green factories in Bangladesh. Then we have more than 200 green factories. But the sorting, there are many informal sorters who are not actually not the social compliance or the environment compliance. So recycle exchange also established to show that how a model sorting center should look like.
Yeah.
So we are also giving minimum wage
Right.
to the sorters. We are giving the appointment, all this letter, all this compliance. We have the child care room for the worker children. We have also breastfeeding room. We are also made some of the environmental things. We are using skylight because for sorting you need a lot of attention of the light on the clippings.
Right.
So if we used all the bulbs and the lights, then also energy consumption would be, because all this purpose
Right.
of the sorting and circularity is, I mean, less carbon emission. So we have also I mean, in a way, in our rooftop, a lot of skylight come to our floor. So even without light in the morning and afternoon, we can sort of sort.
Nice.
So
If I hear you mentioned the more social side, right?
yes,
Wages, quality of employment.
yes,
Do you feel like that's an important part of circularity? Because most of the time when I speak about circularity, there's a big focus on the environment and the material.
yes.
But I'm hearing something else in your story. Can
Yeah.
you tell me about your vision on
Yeah,
that?
if we talk about the sustainability, there are actually two parts. One is the people and one is the planet.
Right.
So we want to make the planet contribute to make action, to take actions to make the planet, I mean, existence and everything, because all we care about the
Yeah.
people. The purpose of the planet is people. So if the people are not taken care of,
Yeah.
I think one of the key aspects of the circularity or sustainability we are missing. So since we are making all this effort for circularity, it means we want the people roam around, live in this planet in a good way. So ultimately, people's well-being, dignity, safety should be
Right.
also priority in the fashion.
So if I translate this also,
Yes.
that would mean that if you're trying to develop innovations for the textile supply chain, that you shouldn't just focus on the environmental aspects or the material aspects, but also on the societal aspects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you look at this supply chain and the position of recycling exchange, you have a lot of experience on that area, right? Through recycling exchange. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for startups or for innovation there?
Yeah, so I think it's a very important. So one of the question you asked me earlier, what are the technologies or innovation we are currently using the sorting center? I say
Right.
there is none. So the startups can come out how actually we can use some of the technologies so that we can identify the quality of the clippings of the waste. For example, when we are sorting the, for example, denim waste, by hand feeling, we are understanding that, for example, this is 100% cotton.
You mean literally like
Yes.
touching it?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So it is 100% cotton, but sometimes we understand it's not mixed, some cotton and elastin. But we cannot find how much elastin is there.
Right, because all the labels are gone.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
if there is some innovation, so and any startups can come up that they can also, by the technology, identify the materials of these clippings, how much elastin, how much cotton, and if we determine it very well, then I think the recycling industry can also make a lot of more effort, because now with this no details of the materials, is also difficult for them
Nice.
to make the materials, the fiber and I mean the yarn. So I think this is one of the area, and another area could be also, I mean, how we can make this sorting faster, even automated, because in the post consumer there is the technology, because people putting the piece, it's a big piece, but since it's small piece, but if we, for example, if we can make some technology, we can give like a basket full of waste in something, and the technology is there, they can, with this identifying of the materials and the content, they can segregate it, the machine can segregate, or AI can segregate it by different things.
Yeah.
So, and that actually also make the efficiency level higher for the sorting, and that will be
That would be
fantastic
great.
for the
What
recycling
about
business.
like, I can imagine that in a lot of these trimmings, this textile waste, there's like different dyes and colors, right? I can imagine.
Yes.
How is that managed by the people that are, the companies that are returning it to fiber?
Yeah.
What is the process there? How
So, as I said, the recyclers also give some requirements. For example, they give us the color requirements also. Some
Okay.
say they only take the natural color. Some say they only take the denim blue color. Some say that they actually can just segregate or take the pink color. Some say they only take the knit. Some say that they only take the denim. So we have to sort the things like maintaining the color, material, and also the length.
And you
So
mentioned natural colors, so somehow you can see if it's natural?
natural
or-
color means it's without dyeing. That off-white.
Okay. So that if it's off-white, you know.
Yes.
Like that. Okay.
Yes. So I think there is a lot of opportunities to come up with the innovations. So
Right.
all this segregation, if we can make automatically, that will be great.
Yeah. And what I also heard earlier in our talk is if there can be some sort of maybe service or consulting for the producers so that the waste is already to some level
Yeah.
separated, that would make the process easier.
Yeah.
Or that maybe waste is labeled even
Yeah.
before it arrives, that you know, like, okay, this big container over here is 70% this, 10% that.
Yeah.
Then that might also be so
Yeah.
there's some different areas here
Yeah.
actually.
And one more important thing, that when we are using the circular material ultimately in the product, I think we cannot use the altogether 100% circular material, because if we use certain percentage of the circular material, above that, the apparel itself, the garment would be shredded when we wash.
The quality decreases or
Yes,
something. Okay.
yes. So there is how this percentage, 25%, 20 or 10% circular material, but that's also not fixed. I think the fashion industry is also experimenting something, that how much actually possible to use the circular material. And after we use the circular material, after how many use
How
that
many
will
times?
be,
Yeah.
so how many times? So these all are questions. So this is also one of the areas that startups can work. And another important thing is, by circularity, it doesn't mean only like recycling. We can use, if we can use a garments for longer time, even if we can, recycle, reuse, and even re-exchange is something we can also do.
Right.
If there is any way that we can exchange our garment product and it's used for the longer time, so if the longevity of a product is also ensured, that is also circularity, because the circularity is actually against the fast fashion.
Yeah.
So I think apart from the recycling, if the durability of the product is also emphasized, then it's also on the durability side, there could be also work from the startups.
So now you're talking a bit more about post-consumer waste as
Yes,
well, right?
yes.
And is there anything that you can tell us about certain materials that are easier to recycle than others? Is there anything like this?
Yes. So far, the recyclers are now taking probably knit and denim, and mostly cotton, 100% cotton and 98% cotton. Material or garment or clipping that is less than 90% of cotton, still not the recycle cannot make it fiber.
Okay, that's good to know.
So there is also not, technologies for polyester and viscose and other things, but they are also using a lot of, especially in the outer fabric, also in the athletic fabrics.
Right.
And these are all the popular material garments now after the COVID. People across the world are using, but we are still, focused, recycling industry focused on the cotton materials. So I think there is also a lot of work to do as a world, fashion world, how they can also recycle the viscose, polyester,
Yeah.
even anything that is less than 90% of
Yeah.
cotton.
But also in a way that doesn't, again,
Yes.
require a lot of energy or a lot of
Yes,
chemicals,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Because I
yes.
understood that for some mixed materials, the only way to recycle
yes,
them is through chemical processes.
yes.
So then you create another pollution layer.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And one more thing is that in Bangladesh there is a recycler. Some of the recycler, for example, Cyclo and Recover, they are actually mechanical recyclers. So mechanical recycle, but chemical recycling is not in Bangladesh. Also, the chemical recycling more effective but less common in any part of the world. And if we want to establish the chemical recyclers in Bangladesh, the requirement of energy needed for the chemical recyclers is also huge.
It's huge, right? So then you create another.
Yeah, so if we actually make a chemical recycling plant and run it by the energy from the national grid, which also run by the fuel generated power, that it will be not sustainable.
Right.
So we need also a big area for the solar for giving electricity to the
Right.
chemical plants, which is also quite impossible now
Nice.
because of the land scarcity and everything.
Right.
So I think this also could be one of the discussion that how the energy consumptions and everything we are considering in the circular materials.
Yeah, and should we be using more manual, more automated
Yeah.
versus more energy or less energy? There's so
Yes.
many
Yes.
almost conflicting things, huh?
Yes.
To find the perfect puzzle. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Do you have any, just as final remarks, do you have any advice for young Bengalis that are working on
Yes.
innovation for this?
Yes.
What's your
Yes.
advice?
Yes. So I think circularity still now is a nascent stage, but all the European regulations is coming in 2027 or 8, like the digital product passport, eco design, whatever we call, even the EU sustainable textile legislations. All these things will make the circularity mandatory in the product, not only the apparel but also like plastic, even constructions. So all are coming. So I think we have to embrace the circularity. There is no other alternative. So the Bengalis or whatever the people in the textile stakeholders, they should also put a lot of interest and also work on the circular things, how we can make this circular fashion possible, because Bangladesh being one of the vulnerable country to climate change also made an example by building highest green garment factories in Bangladesh. So I think there is also opportunities for Bangladesh to also take the lead in circular fashion, especially from the production side. So I think there is a huge opportunity, and still is a nascent area. There is a lot of things to do. So I think if the people come forward, it will be winning for business also for the environment and all.
So there's a need.
Yes.
Nice. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for your time.